Grit. But really, above everything, grit is super important, but the biggest thing you gotta have before anything starts with a C. C-O-M-M-I-T-M-E-N-T. Commitment. You don't commit, you're gonna get nothing. There's a big difference between being interested and being committed. So, you see Ironman Kona, you're like, oh, that'd be so rad, that'd be really cool. That's interested. You see Ironman Kona, I'm gonna do that. Here's how I do it. Let me get a coach, let me get a training plan, let me put in those days. That's commitment. Which one's gonna make it? It's commitment. So above everything, you need this. And this, ultimately, after you have this is what's gonna get you there. Wardrobe change, yeah, and the baby. Getting packed, heading to the pool. Got my goggles and my mask. So, had a full day with this guy, and that's part of the grit. But yeah, beyond the grit. Yes, thank you. I want to bring that too. Thank you, buddy. So yeah, beyond the grit, training plan too, man. That's what comes into play. That's what I want to dive into now. The pool is closed. President's Day. So that means it's a forced day off. I've had this happen to me twice before. And honestly, I need it. I'm pretty smoked. I did 2 brick workouts, which is like, if you're not in triathlon training, what it means is like you bike first and then you run immediately after so that you're running on taxed legs. So I did one Saturday and Sunday, and it's like a classic case of doing too much. Like I thought I was cool, classic. And now I feel like really tired today and zapped, classic. So yeah, it's a forced break. It's cool. I'll just take today as my rest day, and I was gonna say see how I feel and swap it for Thursday, but really I should probably take 2. So training plans, let's get into training plans. Just past week 1, and you know, really I've been training for 2 years now, so this is kind of like a misnomer, but I still wrote out a 13-week plan anyway, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I kind of I'm listening to people that do know what they're doing, so that's what I base this off of. But I don't know, I'll just give a quick little run through of what I wrote out, just maybe it's helpful to somebody in this world. So week 1, basically week 1 builds in a week 2, in a week 3, and then once I build through week 3, you get into recovery workout absorption week. So it's a lot more chill, like a 1-hour bike ride. It's quite different than what I did the week before, which is like a 2-hour ride plus a 30-minute run brick afterward, and 9-mile run, 2.5-hour ride, 3,200 yard swim, 3,500 yard swim. It's breaking down into a lot more chill and manageable time frame. Time frame? What the fuck does that mean? It's breaking down to a much more manageable load. Then it ramps back up in intensity. Start building back into longer runs, or longer rides, longer swims. Another break, another swim, 10-mile trail run, long ride, brick, swim, trail run, 12 miles, swim, group ride. I'm doing these group rides now with really cool shop here in Vegas. It's called Pro Cyclery. These guys are super cool. But I built that into my training plan now. I was doing that every Saturday with them. And ultimately, the fun part is, where is it? Wait for it. Okay, so I signed up for Century Ride. Century Ride, of course, is 100 miles. And it's on the St. George course. So I'll actually get to like see like the infamous Snow Canyon climb and like different parts of the route. So it's like a little reconnaissance and a century ride before the race, which is like, I wanted to get a century in. Somewhere peppered in here was a half marathon too. Found a half marathon that I want to do. Yeah, so once again, so going back in, like you'll see it'll build again, and then once you get into week 7, you break back down into week 8, which is like a recovery workout absorption week. So chiller ride, easy intuitive run, 2,000 yard swim, spinning on the bike for 1 hour, rest day Thursday, swim 2,000 yards, and then it goes back into a brick and ramping back up again. Like breaking into that St. George, that'll be a big ramp up. St. George Century. And then once we get to week 12, still ramping but tapering a bit. Like this is when we're getting into the taper until finally race week is like a full taper. Then you really ramp it down so you're prepped for race day. That's the gist of it. Week 1, ramps in a week 2, ramps in a week 3, recovers in week 4. Then you ramp back up in week 5, ramp back up in week 6, ramp back up in week 7, recover in week 8, ramp into 9, ramp into 10, taper in 10. You start tapering in 10 and 11, so you're fully tapering in 12, and just once you build a certain level of fitness, you can just maintain it. So that's what the race week is all about. Like you've built this whole level of fitness ideally, now you're just maintaining. That's the gist of it. And guess what's gonna get it all through this shit? What's that? It's grit.